Not only that, but to make this into the funniest dungeon encounter of all time, if you time the bridge rotations correctly, you'll be able to cast judgment upon your Shadow Legion foes as they get rejected from entering into paradise. Yup, you heard that right, folks. I'm not messing around with this encounter. As the Shadow Legion troops leap from their ships onto what they thought was a bridge, they will instead plummet straight into the abyss of flying rocks and death below. This is my dream dungeon. Did you expect any less from me? With Cry of the Gardener, I crafted together my dream raid and made it as cinematic and epic as I possibly could. Watch that video, by the way, if you haven't. My raid it's awesome. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but it's an awesome video. So during my brainstorming sessions for this encounter, I realized I had the potential to make the funniest first dungeon encounter ever. You, oh viewer mine, will finally get to have your much desired revenge for the Cabal drop pods that have persecuted you for so long. Goddamn drop pods. As with God himself on Judgment Day, and the bridge from Zoroastrianism, you, my friends, will have the ability to cast these sinners into the abyss of floating rocks below. When you first enter the encounter, the rally flag will be right here, and the exit to the encounter will be a closed door that requires key code Omega right over here. More on that later. After rallying, once you move forward, immediately, hordes upon hordes upon hordes, and I mean a lot, of Shadow Legion reinforcements will land repeatedly, over and over again on all 6 spawn points. This is not going to be a complex or tedious dungeon encounter, but rather a very high ad density one. Hopefully, the highest ad density first encounter to a dungeon of them all. Aside from the entrance to Grasp of Avarice, and other places that we like to go, including I think it's called the Breakneck mission in Lightfall with that rally flag and all those Vex. I think that's the one. I wanted to give you all a fun and cinematic catalyst and kill farm location as well in Destiny 2. As you traverse through this beautiful scenery of flowers and trees, you will have a fantastic skybox of the almighty weapon continually firing into the newly formed pink and red sun all around you. So this is how Paradiso will work. When you walk up to one of these 6 terminals, the text will prompt you by saying, requires key code blank in order to activate. This will change randomly between all 6, every single run, refresh, and successful panel input. Allow me to explain. So imagine going up to the terminal, and you see a symbol on it. Imagine that each of these 6 keys have their own unique symbols and colors. And so for colorblind players, the colors will be slightly different from one another, but the symbols will all be the same. On both sides of the chasm, here are the 2 spawns where the yellow bar key card carrier incendiary will spawn. Once you start the encounter, the first key carrier will spawn here, on the opposite side of the rally flag. Once he is killed by you or your team, like the augments in Deepstone Crypt and Vesper's Host, he will drop one of these 6 keys onto the ground. It will be random. Before he goes down, however, there will be subtle hints above his head as to which key card he was carrying by a low color hue. This will come in handy for all you speedrunners and frequent returning players out there. Once the key drops to the ground, it will have its own unique Cabal symbol and color, just like Scanner, Operator, and Suppressor. I want you to visualize that kind of look. And when you pick it up, it will pretty much be exactly the same. And it will not have a timer like the Deepstone augments. Similarly to the augments, what I was also thinking of is having the glow, the color, and the symbol glow above a player's head, so that way players can communicate with one another. Let's say, for example, they are holding key code Gamma, and they have whatever symbol is above their head, so you see that, and you'll be able to see, oh, okay, John Destiny's carrying key code Gamma. Alright, John, can you come over here to this terminal here? And you can communicate with one another while you're dealing with tons and tons and tons of ads to put it in the correct panel. So, the key cards will be random each and every time a carrier spawns, including, but not limited to, the same key spawning twice. These keys will hang out on the ground for approximately 10 seconds before they disappear permanently. That way, they don't last too long. If it's a key that you don't want, just wait for the other key card carrier to spawn on the other side of the chasm, and then you kill him and see what key he dropped that time. Hopefully it's not the same one if you were trying to make it different. Each time you kill one of these guys, they will always rotate spawns each and every time to both sides of the chasm, encouraging movement and also discouraging cheesing the encounter. This is a high ad density, highly mobile encounter with very simple mechanics actually, and I will break it down gladly. Because this is a dungeon, you don't want it to be too complex. Raids are supposed to be complex, and that's exactly why I made Cry of the Gardener complex. So, one strategy players can utilize, depending on your teams or preference, is to read each and every panel quickly before killing the carrier, memorizing the names for each randomized panel, and then proceeding to insert the key into that corresponding terminal. For you see, the terminals will tell you what they require when you go up to them and don't have a key. However, once you have a key on your carrier, the terminal will not tell you what it requires anymore. Instead, it will only give you the option to insert the key you are holding. So, if you forgot and you accidentally placed the wrong key in the wrong terminal, all 6 terminals will reset and a subjugator will spawn next to that terminal. A soft punishing mechanic, but one that could throw off the flow depending on if you're running solo or with a team.
How do you like that, Obama? I pissed on the moon, you idiot! You have 23 hours before the piss droplets hit the earth. Now get out of my sight before I piss on you too.